I think what I'm hearing you ask is, I'm holding my grip like this. The poi is in my hand like this. But you said, Isa, I want it down here like this. When do I do it and how do I get it there? Okay, the first exercise for learning how to get it into, so I call this the L of the hand. You're moving from the tip into the L. I would say, first of all, practice just feeling that. Where you have it here, just move it manually. It's here, boom, I slipped it in. It's here, boom, I slipped it in. It's here, boom, I slipped it in. Here, boom, I slipped it in. Now, second, I would practice when it's here, in the L, just spinning. Can I do circles with it in the L? That's step one. Can I even get it around? Can I get it up and over? Okay. Then the next thing is you want to practice while it's spinning, moving from this, back to this, to this, back to this while it's spinning. Now, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but I'll try. So now it's in between my fingertips. Now it's in the L, right? You can see how it's in the L. Now it's back in the fingertips. Now it's in my L. Now it's back in the fingertips. Now it's in the L. In the fingertips, in the L. In the fingertips, in the L. So what we're talking about here is super subtle manipulation of the knob so that you can have it move in these micro motions from just the tip into the full-on crevice. I mean, I would have liked to imagine, especially because it looks like you have a loft, I would like to imagine that will get you to a place where you'll be doing tosses, which you cannot do with those loops that are like this, like that. It just doesn't work. Well, I mean, it does, but it's even more manipulation because you have to take the loop off your hand and then somehow get the loop back on your hand while you're spinning. So I would say what might be useful for you, because guess what, you're gonna have to do this with both hands, is possibly trying with both hands in front of you at once, moving from a complement of information there. So I had you do it this way with your right hand, right? You're going from the tip to the crux, from the tip to the L. Then you want to stall and you want to practice the other direction, from the tip to the L, from the tip to the L, because you have to be able to go both ways for both directions of spiral, right? And then for you, because you're just transitioning into knobs, I would say a couple things are really useful, just even like knob orientation. We're down here, I'm in this grip, learning how to rotate my palm, and then doing the same thing where I'm using the palm and the hand to get it to go around. Changing directions, going the other way. It's at the tip. And I mean, it sounds super rudimentary, but this is the kind of thing like you could be talking on the phone, you could be watching something on TV, where you just practice. I mean, I know this is rudimentary, but even like, okay, I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1, switch, 3, 2, 1, switch, 3, 2, 1, switch, 3, 2, 1, switch, and do like, 30 reps in that direction, 30 reps in the other direction, 3, 2, 1, crux, 3, 2, 1 to the tip, 3, 2, 1 to the crux, 3, 2, 1, and then 1 on the tip, 1 on the crux, 1 on the tip, 1 on the crux, right? You might move down to 2 in between, but just being able to get it there that fast makes a difference between how clean your motions are. Because if you decide last minute you want to go into your spiral, I mean, I don't actually hold my poi this way often because I normally have them wrapped around my hand, but I still practice the skill even with full extension like this, being able to get it in and out of the L, from the tip to the L itself, with both hands. So, of course, we got to do the other hand as well, right? So, well, I guess, it doesn't matter which one you start with. So, from the tip, sliding it into, and actually, you know what, we didn't do, so let's do this, because this is where we started. It's here, get it into the L with your hand manually, right? So you can feel it. Here, into the L, right? Here, into the L. Here, into the L. And I do actually think it's helpful to open the hand fully, because when you go into the spiral and you stack your hand, you really are pinching it like this, and the hand is actually open. So I do think that there's utility in that. Okay, so it's in the tip, and pull it into the L. Back to the tip, it's in 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 the L. And you'll notice, maybe, I don't know if you can see it, but when I'm going, when it's in the L, what I'm doing is I'm bending my index finger and pushing it up on my index finger to get it to go up, right? It's here. I'm pushing it up with my index finger to get it up. But sometimes I use my other fingers to help get it up. Like they slide along it as well. So there's no, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. If you can get it to the tip, then get it there. You don't, like it's, however you're making it work it. So step one, just getting the feel of that. Now, starting with spinning it where you're gripping at the tip to getting it into the L where the hand is open like this. Now for me, because of my arm injury and my hand injury, I find that doing too many of these drills actually impact my hand. But, you know, I would go until before you feel cramping and then just pick it up again later, right? So I'm at the tip, I'm in the L. I'm at the tip, I'm in the L. And you can start with the 3, 2, 1 and switch. 3, 2, 1 and switch. 3, 2, 1 and switch. Also, I should mention, when you're at the tip, you may actually be holding it with multiple fingers at the tip, right? This is 3 fingers at the tip. You don't have to do just 2. You can have all of your fingers like this around it. Ultimately, it's about what feels good in your hand, and that might shift from move to move. This is where you're gonna find a flexibility you would never have when you're like this, locked in. And then the other thing I would remember is, in the past, you might have been using your fingertips to generate the motion in a way you can't when you're holding the knob. So you can counter the motions by using more wrist or more pumping to help, okay? Tip to the L, to the tip, to the L, to the tip, to the L, to the tip, to the L. You may decide you do sometimes like this, right? I can spin it like this where it's between my 2 fingers also. I don't think there's as much control, but I do sometimes do it. I've seen people, and I myself have done it, where I'm holding it like this. Where like it's up against here, right? If you have your handle like this, if you put your pinky up against the knob, and you hold it like this, you put your pinky up against it and then you hold it like this. That you can do that too. The thing is, I'll switch between all of them. Like, for example, I might do a toss where I catch it. Okay. I caught it all the way down here. So that as it's spinning around, the next time it goes around, what I'll do is I'll loosen the grip in the L as it's going around, and then as it comes over the top, I will flip it, I will bring it back up to the tip of my hand. This is not something you've ever had available to you before because you're going from the old school style. Yeah, it wasn't even part of your experience before, which is why I'm suggesting maybe the best thing for you to do for your practice is not try and do new things, but reacquaint yourself with spinning with a new rig, because that is the new thing. Like, everything about it is new, even if it doesn't seem like it. I mean, even if you just go to your basic weave, right, and experiment with it. So right now, I'm using this. My 2 fingers are above it, and I'm letting the knob pull against my thumb, okay? But as I'm spinning, I'm gonna change it from that to this, the one that you were using, because that's a valuable skill as well. So, and now I've changed it. And now I changed it back. And now I've changed it. Okay, and now I'm gonna walk it up my hand, so now it's that other one where you can see the knob dangling, right? Okay, but now I'm gonna let it go into the crook of the L. This is like a whole new, this is the skill, learning how to work your knob. But seriously, it really is a skill, being able to like manipulate it the way you want it and position it how you need it to be for the movement that you're making. Wow. I swear innuendos everywhere. I would say practice spinning with it here, because that's probably most similar to what you've been doing in the past. Spinning with it like this, so your hand is actually on the rope, not on the knob here. The bottom of your hand is on the knob so that it doesn't fly out of your hand, but your hand is on the rope. Spin with it like this, where you're actually grabbing the knob. Because that's different than grabbing the rope above the knob. And then spinning with it where it's like this in the L. And moving between all of those while you're spinning, and because you know how direction matters, right? Doing it, I would recommend, your overhand weave is probably a good choice because it'll show you lots of things, home side, away side, but then also your underhand weave. Shit. Let me show you what just went on. So this is your knob. These are your washers. I don't know how many you have in there. This is your, well, okay. Well, then you don't have a counterweight, so you wouldn't do tossing until you put a washer in there, which means at that point you would have to do this. I am putting the hairpin around the loop, and then I am taking the loop, I'm taking the hairpin and I'm putting it up through the hole in the knob. Then after you pull it through, you put the washers on it, and you would have pulled the whole thing through, but I haven't gotten it through yet.